Hey, what's up, DJs? I am here. First weekend back after catching COVID and having some close associates cover my events last weekend. This weekend we only have one. We have one today, which is Saturday, and I'm at my storage unit getting ready to get everything loaded up, head over, pick up Jody, and head over to the venue. I'm going to take some videos of this event. It probably will not be like a full gig log or anything like that. It'll probably just be snippets of how we work, the gear we use, and kind of my experience and so on and so forth. But this is kind of what the inside of my storage unit looks like. It's kind of torn up right now because, well, I had some of the guys last weekend come and grab some gear. But I got two QSC subs, 15 ZLX 15Ps. Today we are going to be using my brand new used K12s, and those are the legacy K12s, so they are not the K12.2s. So we are going to be using those at 1K sub. This here is my song request sign, so if they scan that, it takes them to a landing page on my site where they can text me their song request. And today we are actually going to be doing a ceremony, cocktail, reception, and photo booth. So we are going to have all four. Actually, cocktail, I can't really count that because it's kind of in like the same area. So for the most part, ceremony, reception, photo booth. So we're going to be getting out there, getting everything set up. We are going to Aurora Cellars, which is one of my favorite venues. It's a beautiful vineyard, nice open space. The ceremony location is amazing because it's right underneath like this huge willow. My Tetris game is on point. So we've got our tables that we're going to use for a DJ booth. My facade, I've got my QR code sign. I've got my photo booth back there with my printer, props. I've got my uplights. I'm bringing 12 of them today. I've got my flight case. I've got my QSC case sub right there. My K12s right here. 2 bags of tripods, one for the main speakers, a set for the ceremony speaker, plus a mic stand. My backdrop for my photo booth, so on and so forth. So as you can see, we are pretty well packed back there. So next we are going to go pick up Jody and start heading out to Aurora Cellars. It's about to be a great night. There he is, Mr. Jody. What up, Jody? Hey. Filming for my YouTube channel. Sweet. Let's do this. Let's do this. How you doing? All right, so we are completely set up now. Got our reception system over here. There's Mr. Jody. There is our request sign, so people can scan that. It takes them to a landing page on my site where they can text a song request. And this is what we are working with tonight. This is the beautiful Aurora Cellars in Sutton's Bay. Actually, I don't know if it's Sutton's Bay. It's Leelanau County. This is Sutton's Bay, right? Lake Leelanau. Lake Leelanau is where we are. So, this is what we are working with behind the booth here. We've got the Prime 2 running virtual DJ. I do have it in daylight mode so I can see. The Surface Pro running my DMX3, APC Mini to control my DMX3. We have the 2 moving heads. We have some uplights that we're going to put out a little bit later. We got the 2 QSC K12 Legacies, the older one, the K sub under here. Everything is running through this guy, which is my 8-channel Mackie mixer. Shure Beta 58 handheld for the speeches and a wired Beta 58 for the toasts. And we got a Shure ULX S4, and our ceremony system actually has another ULX that will probably move over here, but this is kind of what we are rocking with tonight. So for the ceremony, Jody and I will have walkie-talkies.
Plain Moni Moni. I'm just making sure it works.
No comment. We've got all our planning forms and we are ready to rock. So I will show you guys around the photo booth. All right, and here we have the Danny Max Curve DSLR booth. Freaking love this thing. It's got a Surface Pro 6 in there, running darkroom booth, Canon T6i as the DSLR camera. We have the printer right here behind it. So they'll come up, tap the screen, stand against the backdrop, take a photo, and then it will come out of there. The photo booth actually isn't going to open until after dinner, after dancing and all that other stuff. So we don't have it running right now, but we have everything ready to go. Everything is plugged in and we're ready to rock. Let me show you guys the ceremony. All right, and here is our ceremony system. So for the ceremony, we run a Roland BA3300, which is a battery-powered speaker with a 6-channel mixer. Got a Shure ULX receiver right here, and we are running a battery with the Halo Bolt. Thank you, Jody. Jody just brought our radios over that we are going to use for the ceremony. And we've got a laptop, and yes, I do my ceremonies with a laptop. I do not use a tablet. Sometimes I'll use my phone or a tablet, but most of the time I still like to use my good old laptop. The thing I love about this speaker, you could see right here, it has a 6-channel mixer, and it actually runs on AA batteries, so you could probably see it in there a little bit. So it isn't lithium ion. You don't have to worry about the lifespan of the battery getting low or swapping the battery out. I love it. It is a little bit bulkier than a lot of other ceremony speakers like the Bose S1 Pro, JBL Eon, but I love it. It's actually a busking speaker and it's pretty solid. And this whole setup here, especially with the Halo Bolt, gives me the opportunity to run a completely battery powered ceremony. And that is where the ceremony is going to be happening. Our bride and groom this evening are going to be coming out from the side of that house over there, going through that door, walking down the aisle, and we've got a handheld on a tripod or on a mic stand up there for the officiant. Everything is about to be starting soon. Guests are going to be arriving at 4 o'clock, so we're going to get the music turned up and get ready to party.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Jody is going over there to test the radios that we have, these little guys. We don't normally use radios for ceremonies. Here it's kind of interesting because they usually come up from the side of the house over there. So you don't always see them and it's kind of a long walkway. So I always like to position Jody over there with the radio. Go for test.
Sounding clear on this side, thank you, over.
Sounding clear on this side, over. So that way we know it works. He's going to be positioned over there, so that way he can kind of let me know via the radio when they're going to be coming down. I've done a lot of ceremonies here. You don't need the radios, but it's good to have just in case you need it, because it prevents, if I need to check in on something over there, I don't have to go sprinting all the way to the house and leave the system, right? Like, so helps me be prepared, and we are ready to go. So it looks like the guests should be arriving soon. This is beautiful Aurora Cellars.
that I may give him a chance that he can show his wife how much he loves her. Tony, it's my honor to tell you now you can kiss your bride. All right, give him a hand.
All right, guys, so we just wrapped up the ceremony. Cocktail hour is about to start, so we are just gonna get some music going. It was pretty good, a little bit late start. Some of the guests didn't arrive necessarily on time. They were kind of just taking their time, but that is okay. We got this and we are gonna rock it out, so let's get some music going.
It started when we were little with a surprise from Mom that involved French onion chip dip, taking turns playing Barbies, and then Ninja Turtle.
We were in an a cappella group together. And if you've never heard this man sing, he's got some pipes.
What's happening, guys? So we are officially wrapped up. Finished it up. Now we are just doing a quick walkthrough, grabbing some of our last. Everything went awesome.
Spoils of war.
Some amazing cookies, and Jody bought some wine. But there wasn't going to be a lot of people. Originally, it was about 70 people, and about 30 less showed up. So that was kind of a bummer. But we had a great time. Everybody jammed out, got to socialize. Ceremony went off without a hitch. Ooh. And now we are just tearing down and getting our stuff in the car. What do you think about tonight's gig?
It was awesome. Speakers sounded great. It was a ton of fun, and we made the most of it. It was awesome.
That we did. Had a little swimming pool action behind the photo or behind the DJ booth. Remind me to give you guys a quick pro tip when I get back to the house. But other than that, we are getting loaded up and heading home. Quick pro tip for you DJs. After a long night of a gig, do a quick walkthrough of every area you had gear at and listen to that sound. Just listen. That is the beauty of Aurora Cellars, my friend. So Jody and I are doing a quick walkthrough, making sure we didn't forget anything, so we don't have to come back in the morning. Hey, what's going on, guys? So it is officially the next day after our wedding at Aurora Cellars, and I just wanted to kind of add on to the gig log, give some of my thoughts, things that I learned, maybe some tips to other DJs out there, and just kind of put it all together. So first of all, one thing I did notice is that filming for a gig log is pretty difficult, right? Because you're focused on the experience, you're focused on delivering great quality entertainment, but then you're also kind of focused on capturing content. And even though I am very used to taking a lot of photos, a lot of videos at every single event that I do, it's very different when you have the mindset that this is going to be a gig log, because you need to take certain videos in certain orders of each different component so you can kind of put it all together in a story to make kind of like a vlog. So I think we really succeeded at it, with the exception of the dancing. The dancing was a lot more difficult to do because I would have to kind of remind myself, okay, grab your phone and get a clip, right? And throw it in there. A lot of the other stuff just kind of came natural. But the dancing was pretty difficult. So shout out to Jody. He took some videos that we kind of threw in for the dancing portion. And it was a smaller wedding. It was originally supposed to be 70. A lot less showed up. I don't think that really bummed the bride out at all. She still had a great time. Everybody still had a great time. And it was an awesome night. But it wasn't necessarily like a packed dance floor the entire night, because a lot of the guests were conversating and socializing and enjoying themselves. So that was one thing. And we kind of had a bit of a situation, but it wasn't really a situation where everybody was aware of it. Even the venue, nobody had an idea except for Jody and I, and we were able to rectify it. Now, we almost drowned our gear, first of all, but let me tell you what happened. So in my DJ setup, the way I usually like to do it is we have the table with our typical gear on it, and then I always bring a X stand, keyboard stand with us. It's a Pro X. It's really sturdy. It has two sides on it, because I also have a few that only has a single bar, and those aren't as sturdy. The two-sided ones are very sturdy. And what I like to do is set it out and then take the top of the flight case and put it on top of that. My old flight case fit perfectly. It fit like a glove. The Prime 2 is a little smaller, so if you could see here, it's hanging over probably about 1/16 of an inch. Now we can put it out wider, and that gives it a much steadier or sturdier base, but then it's also a lot lower. So we did it like that, just so that way it could be up a little higher, which is completely fine. But what isn't fine is setting our drinks on it. And some of you more experienced DJs may have an idea where this is going. So we had a bunch of drinks set up on that tabletop there, and I was trying to get a clip of everybody dancing, but there was a really cool mix that I wanted to do. And I kind of knew that if I was going to go for this clip, I would kind of need to rush back behind the booth and do it after I got the clip. So I go out there, I get the clip, and I start rushing back behind the booth, and I barely nudge it, and all of our drinks spill on the ground. Thankfully, it didn't hit our surge protector. It didn't actually touch any of our gear, but we just had like a giant puddle but underneath the DJ booth, and Jody actually had an awesome video of it. So this is kind of him. We were playing Yeah, and I was gonna do a transition to Jump Around by House of Pain, and you can kind of see he gets back here behind the booth. And you can actually kind of hear the glass hit the ground. Thankfully, none of the glass broke. Thankfully, we were able to get it cleaned up using paper towels, things like that. And nobody knew. You know, it was smooth. So that kind of sucked. One thing we'll probably do is, if we do decide to do that, make it wider, even though it's going to be lower, so that way it's sturdier. And then one other thing I want to throw out there is look at the venue and see if there's anything different that you can do. So as an example, Aurora Cellars has this really beautiful willow tree, and it's usually where the ceremony is. And then after the ceremony, once the reception starts, it's where a lot of the guests will kind of gather, and they'll smoke cigars, they'll kind of hang out. And we'll usually try to figure out a way to light it up. and make it a cool experience for anybody hanging out there. I've used galaxy lights there before, H2O lights, up lights. This time we actually used the wash effects, and I connected it through DMX with all my other lights, and then we actually connected it with a battery pack, so it was running battery, but it made the willow tree look phenomenal. It was gorgeous. It just kind of added that additional element to the reception and somewhere that guests can hang out. So that's it for me today, guys. If you like this type of content, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. I'll be posting DJ related content, business related content, and marketing related content. So if that sounds interesting to you, be sure to subscribe so you catch all of my updates. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below in the comments section. That's it for this time. I will catch you guys in the next one.